It's like a cycle. It's like one cycle that you can see and predict what is going to happen. And I wonder if we tolerate this cycle because it's easier to be complacent to a pattern as compared to changing the trajectory. They kill us, we get angry, we march, we get a little violent, start praying, start telling folks to forgive, start pacifying the masses, may or not make an arrest, start all over again. Like, anybody else frustrated? Anybody else like, nah, not this time. Not this time. The Spirit is moving and God is still speaking. I just wish that we were listening. Lord, I thank you for this opportunity to come before those who are watching right now. I pray, God, that they hear what it is that's being said, not in a defensive manner, but that they hear, Lord, that there is more for us and that we don't have to live with this injustice, that you have created a way that we can have what it is that we may need. But Lord, it might take a battle. It'll take confrontation of sin. It'll take direct action. Lord, we cannot keep doing what we have been doing and expecting a different result. Father, send the strategies. Send the strategic placement. Send those not afraid. Send those with the mind to think. Send those with the mind to hear. Send those with the heart for a new thing, a revelation, Lord. Be with us this day, because, Father, if you do not go with us, then we ain't going. If you don't go before us, Father, we ain't going. But, Lord, if your message is yes and amen, and we will head on, because there's plenty of work to be done. Hello, everyone. My name is Shauna, and I am the spiritual leader of the Resistance and Revolution. This is brand new, out the box, but it comes from a place of being tired. So on this day, I would like to discuss what actually occurred when I showed up for the protest in Nashville. There are many things that I observed. So I show up to the protest and I see so many people, a sea of people, all nationalities, all ethnicities, skin tones. They had their signs, they had their t-shirts. There was this spirit of, we are here, what's up? And not like we finna fight, but like, we're here, we're about that action, we're here to support. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say you had a variety of people with different intentions. You had your Instagram, Facebook, social media folks that was taking a lot of pictures, a lot of, camera angles. I was just necessarily documenting. But you saw a lot of selfies and such, right? It's our culture. It's what we do. You saw a lot of individuals who I believe were truly there to say they were tired. They was tired of this cycle of systematic oppression showing up through police brutality, because there's multiple ways that oppression is represented in American culture right now. So I was so happy to see all of those individuals, right? But then came some of the disconnect. I moved about 7 times to be able to try and hear what was actually being said by these speakers. Most of them men, most of them older men. We had some black women in there, older black women. But for the most part, the speakers were comprised of those who were not the youth. Maybe because these individuals have had more experience, maybe because they have seen more. But this is also a part of the disconnect that currently exists when it comes to these protests. It's this idea that we have those who are older that are leading the speeches and leading the conversations, and the youth who have a voice as well often are not present until towards the end, or their voices are overshadowed by movement, which is exactly what happened during this time. The one young gentleman that I saw that got the mic was the one who was yelling in the front, talking about F all this. And I was like, he fought for that chance to get that mic. Now, when I finally could hear what was going on, what I heard was all the names of those who had been murdered by the police. I heard the anguish of generations having to have endured racism. I heard the frustration of a system that was not working and not helping the people. I heard all of that when I could hear. And then I didn't exactly hear what we're going to do from there. Let me explain it like this. So it's like getting the components of a bomb, putting all the pieces that you need to put in the bomb, including the little rope that goes to the bomb, then setting a match by the little flicker, the rope that lights the bomb, and being like, all right, well, I'll see y'all later. We said our piece. What? The anger was there. You may say it was peaceful, but the anger was there, right on the surface. And as we marched and said, Black Lives Matter, and I can't breathe, and no justice, no peace, as we're walking, sometimes people think that if you're walking, then that will reduce the angst that you're feeling. But what was going on was, as we were walking, as we're naming names, as we're talking about we can't breathe, as we're talking about Black Lives Matter, as we're reflecting on the injustice that has been going on for so long, you could feel the anger turn to hopelessness, turn to pain, and turn to rage. Do we believe what we are fighting for, and do we believe we can do it together? And are we willing to put aside our individuality to make it work, to make it happen? Are we willing to show up every week? Not to tear ish up, but show up every week in numbers and force to show that we will show up and inconvenience this entire place until we get the justice that is deserved? Are we willing to? We got to be willing to unite, even if that means losing your identity for the moment. And we have to be willing to stay, even when it gets rough. They have a hopelessness that I can't even begin to describe. We have got to do so much more. We can do so much more for them. We really can.